Hey there, Mrs. Holden here. I just wanted to kind of walk you through the steps for getting started on our first little project that we're going to have in art class. So typically if we were in art class in the classroom, I would have you create a small sketchbook called a zine that you would use to take some notes and do some activities as we're learning about the 7 elements of art. So these next few weeks that we are together doing our e-learning, we're still going to learn about those 7 elements of art, but I'm going to have you create your note-taking thing in a different way. So I'm going to have you guys create a Google slide deck. And I do apologize. I use an iPad. I know that you guys all have MacBooks, so it's going to look a little bit different for you guys than what you see here on your screen. But you guys all know how to create a Google slide deck. So I'm going to have you go ahead and open Google Slides. And I'd like for you to create a Google slide deck that has 8 slides, okay? So I mentioned a moment ago that there are 7 elements of art. But you also probably noticed that I'm having you create 8 slides. So your Google slide deck is going to be kind of your note-taking device for the 7 elements of art, but that first slide is just going to be kind of an introduction. So when you open this up, it's almost like a presentation. By the time you get finished, that intro slide is just going to kind of tell the viewer what it is they're looking at, just like the title page of a book would have, and then or the cover of a book. And then as you flip through, you'll see the information about each of those elements of art. Okay, so once you open up your Google slide deck, please make sure that you title it the elements of art. And you can see in the top left corner, mine says the elements of art dash Mrs. Holden. If you could make yours say the elements of art and then have your name on it, that would be great. That way I will be able to see exactly whose work I'm looking at as I'm flipping through these. Okay, so once you have your slide deck open, you have 8 slides ready to go. I'm going to show you what you're going to put on each one of these slides, and then you'll be ready to get started for the rest of our time together for e-learning. Okay, so let's go up to slide 1. Slide 1 is basically just your intro slide, and we want to add text to this one. So it's basically just going to say the 7 elements of art. Okay, and then I'm going to just put my name under there, Mrs. Holden. And you can kind of make this as fancy as you want, get fancy with it if that's your style. I would probably, if it were me, I would change my font. It's a little bit different for you guys than it is for me. On the iPad, or I'm sorry, on the MacBooks. So just, do your thing. You guys know how to work all of the different things on your iPads. Whoops, I'm going to change that so my font's a little bit bigger. The 7 elements of art, Mrs. Holden. There we go. Okay, I also understand that you guys have no idea what the 7 elements of art are at this moment in time. You haven't learned those yet. That's what we're getting ready to do over the course of the next few weeks. If you want to add some images to this introduction slide, you're welcome to do that. Pick out some images that you feel like are kind of artsy. Maybe you have some pictures that you have drawn and you want to take a picture of those and add those to this first slide. That's totally fine. I personally created a little image here just on my whiteboard here at home that says the 7 elements of art. So I'm going to just go ahead and add that one. And as you can see on my little image, it has the 7 elements listed on there. So we have line, space, shape, color, texture, value, and form. Okay, moving on. The rest of the slides that we have here, each one of those is going to be dedicated for each one of the elements of art. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add text to each one of these. This one's going to be my line slide. I'm just going to move that up here, line. I'll move on to my next one, add some text, color, whoops, color. Let's go shape, line, color, shape, space, texture. Whoops. Keep forgetting to add my text there. Let's go value. And last one, oh, it already has a text box. Form. Okay, I understand that none of these terms mean anything to you at this moment in time. That's okay. We're going to learn about each of these elements pretty much one a week over the course of the next few weeks. So, each of the slides is going to be dedicated to each one of the elements. So later on this week, you're going to watch a video that has to do with line. It's going to be a very short video, probably 2.5 to 3 minutes long. But while you're watching that video, you're going to pay close attention to the definition of line. Once you hear that definition, you're going to come to your line slide and you're going to type in the definition of line. All right, line, the path an object takes when it moves from one point to another. We're going to talk a lot about that in a video lesson coming up later on this week. So in addition to watching the short video and taking a note on this slide, you're going to do an activity that involves listening to some music and drawing some lines that go along with those moods or emotions that you're feeling when you're listening to that music. Once you've completed that assignment, then you're going to take a picture of whatever it is that you created and you're going to attach it to this slide. So not only can you read the definition of that term, but you're going to be able to visually represent what that element of art is all about. And then we're going to move on each week and we're going to do the same thing for all these other slides. We'll have the exact same thing for color. We'll do a different activity that probably doesn't involve music, but we'll do different activities for each one of these elements. And when you complete the activity, you'll attach an image of what you created to the slide. And then by the time you're finished, you'll have a nice little note, quote unquote, notebook of each of the elements of art. Okay, so as we progress, we'll get through all of these slides and you'll have a nice little presentation to show for it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, mholden at all of the GCSC stuff that goes along with the emails. Also check Google Classroom each day to see what the project is for each day. My office hours are 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So feel free to email me during those times. But of course, I'm stuck at home, so I will be around pretty much all day to answer questions. Let me know if you need help. Have a great day.